Hello, 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 my people, and welcome to the Man of the Artist. As you know, I'm your host, Mr. Breaker Bass, and with me today, I have a very, very, very special guest. And the guest goes by the name of Mr. Kizzy Stayne. So before we get into it, a quick intro to what this show's about, if you don't know already. So on this show, we'll be talking about the mind of the artist. We'll get to know the artist, get to know the mindset, what goes on in their head, how they actually accomplish what they want to do, and hopefully answer some of your burning questions. So without much further ado, Mr. Kizzy Stayne, welcome to the show. How are we doing today? Not too bad, not too bad. Thank you so much. So it's good to have you. So before we get into all the nitty gritty, I have one question for you. So your song Run, yeah, there's a specific line in it that caught me off guard listening to it. All right. So it goes body like time, the rest of it, car like spice. All right, cool. So I want to know, how did you come up with that line in particular? What was your inspiration behind it?
Um, I'd say that time was a very emotional moment for me, and I just wanted to describe what I was feeling, and I just let the music come to me basically, and that was it, to be honest.
Cool. Well, it was very interesting. I like it. I like that. I like song as well. It's a good song. It's a good song. So guys, you never listen to it. Yeah, try it out. Right. So okay. So let's roll into it real quick. What was your main character moment when you realized, oh yeah, this creative lifestyle is for me? Was it like a vibe? Was it a song that spoke to you, or was it like a spiritual download kind of thing?
Um, I'd say me making music for me is not like the usual story you get basically. Um, hmm. It's more like, I went to like a music school, I just wanted to be a producer, learn how to make beats. And that was it. Then I realized I started, freestyling to beats, writing songs. And then so I wouldn't say it's one specific moment, there like different like scenarios, it's either like, I went to uni and the apartment I was staying, there was like a studio there. Moving to another apartment, there's a studio. Like I felt like music was following me everywhere I gone to, basically. Yeah.
So let's pick up on the you going to music school. How was that experience for you exactly?
It was amazing. I just finished my secondary school and I got exposed to music, met a couple of people that were into music, and I was like, you know what? Um, I want to learn how to make beats so I could be in that space. So I literally just, had a conversation with my dad, I'm going to this music school. He was like, what's this all about? He doesn't even know, man. He gave me the money. I went there, paid the tuition fee, and I just started learning how to make beats basically. Yeah.
That's good. And would you say that whole that whole avenue of you going to music school helped you progress in your career, or is it just for you specifically?
Yeah. I would say it laid the foundation because I got exposed to different softwares where I can literally use to make music.
Yeah.
I met a couple of people who are like creatives as well. Whenever we get a free time in the studio, I just go into the build, try to freestyle, do something. I remember there was a time I was in one of the classes. I was just trying to make a beat and I was freestyling. Then there was this lady at the door staring at me, and it made me feel good because she made me feel like I'm doing something good. So yeah, that was it, to be honest.
Okay, well that's good. So if creativity had this saved as a contact, what would your relation status be? Is like bestie, is complicated, or those toxic ones that we hear about here and there?
So definitely be love of my life. The love of you. You. Love of my life, bro. The love. Yeah, because music means a lot to me. And it stems from a place that is sort of like an outlet,
Yeah.
like self therapy. I get to express what I'm feeling. I just feel like it's magical. Do you get what I mean? Like I'm feeling some type of way, you know, get on my laptop. I just feel cool that I feel, you know. I think the word for it is magical to me.
Magical.
Yeah.
But I think That's a very good adjective to use, magical, because I know some people for their music is like the best friend, and sometimes it's like the love of their life. So it depends on the circumstance they're in. But they use music as a way to, escape from reality, just be free, just headphones in, music playing, zone out, then they're free. Yeah. So yeah, love your life. That is very good, Boski.
We are married. I'm married. It is still married.
Married to the
I'm
music.
Latin. I'm Latin. Like,
Married to the. Okay, so this one is a bit of a gray area. So let's see how this goes. So you know how with the whole social media platform and industry, everyone wants to hit a certain level of targets with their views and that kind of stuff. And there's a whole talking about this whole algorithm per se. So do you think that that is something that is important that people need to be aware of, or is it something that's it's not really there?
yeah, I mean, I feel like um everyone has what is important for them. And everyone has like a target audience, what they want their music to do. I like to focus on what's right in front of me. The people I could literally affect that are literally right in front of me. And if I could get it to the people right in front of me, then I feel like I could get it to the world. So I like to just focus on what is right in front of me and not worry about what is out there or what the standard is. Let's get the music to the people right in front of me. Then, from one person to the next person, then we get to the world.
It is. So then, how do you keep your focus whilst you're keeping your target audience in mind? And also, I know, um, ideal for musicians, you want to see that offer you music is getting all the interaction that it can get, the most exposure. So during that whole segment, how do you keep focus and not lose yourself in that whole bubble?
Firstly, I don't think everything is for everyone. I let the music find its audience. And the way I do that is I don't try to put pressure on myself. I just stay grounded, stick to my core, the reason I decided to start making music in the first place, and that sort of like takes the pressure away from me. And yeah, I just let the music find its audience. I go with the process, make the music, make sure it's quality enough. And whoever their story aligns with mine, the music will find them. They should.
All right. So there's something interesting that you just said about your core values and kind of stuff. So what would you say those are specifically?
To be authentic, to be real, and the way I could be authentic is to tell my story. So I feel like when you listen to my music, you would know the kind of person I am to a certain level. You see what I mean? So, keep it real, stay authentic, make sure the music is original, it's not diluted and stuff. Yeah. So, those are like my
Core values, to be honest. Okay. Yeah, that's very interesting.
yeah, hey man.
So I've got a question for you. All right. So if creativity dropped a playlist right now, what three songs will be leaked in? And what do they say about your current era that you're in?
Wow, that's a very good question. I mean, firstly, that couple of things are important to me. Love is important to me. Family is important to me. My process, which is my journey. Yeah. So if creativity has a playlist and three songs would be, the first one would be Billionaire Mindset. Um, Second one would be Worst Days.
Okay.
And third one, these are my songs, by the way. That's the best one. And what would the last one be? Uh, I think Labade.
Laba.
And these songs are my songs, by the way. If you're watching this, go on YouTube, go on Apple Music, go on Spotify, go check them out. Kizzy Stayne, Billionaire Mindset, Labade, and What's This? Yeah.
Definitely. So let's talk about linear mindset real quick. Talk me through the process behind the whole concept of it. Like, how did you come up with the name of it? What were you going through during that era of you writing that song?
Yeah, Billionaire Mindset. So I think I just, coming to the UK then, and I was doing my masters at Coventry University, and I had not been able to reach out to my friend like as much as I wanted to, because I had to work, I had to I had to go to uni, I had to make music, and so these are the things that were getting to me at that point, and I feel like the song is actually self-explanatory if you listen to it. Is like, I've got a billionaire mindset. It's a state of mind. These are the things I want to do for my family. I wish I could reach out to my friends, as much as I can, but they also just literally has taken me away. You see what I mean? So I'm just very focused, and it's sort of like a state of mind. I'm trying to get there. You see what I mean? So that's what billionaire mindset was literally all about, to be honest.
Okay. And Labade. What's the English meanings for that one?
Lavade is actually a Yoruba word. It means how far we've come. It's more like putting a stamp to it that this is how far I've come. This is where we are right now from where we've been coming from.
Okay.
That was what I wanted to establish with Labade basically. So that's what that means.
Oh, good songs, very good songs. All right, so let's talk about coins, 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 money, money, money. Everyone loves money.
Yeah, when it's the word go around.
It really does. Right, so how do you keep the passion burning and still make sure that rents are paid?
Uh, I mean, I've got a 9 to 5 job.
Okay.
It keeps every other part functioning. Whatever I make from my 9 to 5, I put it into my music, and yeah, that's how I keep it balanced. I have a 9 to 5. I sort of like come up with a plan in terms of how I want to make music right from the year. I work with my team. This is what I want to do this year. This is how much song I want to put out, and I just work with that basically.
Okay. So would you advise up and coming artists to have the mindset that money doesn't come straight away? So they need to be a bit humble, like take it easy, and of course have like a strong backing behind them to keep them focused and on track.
Uh, I mean, I'd say everyone should do what works for them. I'd say everyone should do what works for them. For me, I like a bit of structure in my life, and which is why, I got a job. Whatever I make from that, from that job, I put it into my music. And if I'm being honest, I wouldn't say I'm at the point whereby I could completely just rely on, on in the what the music brings right now. So, and that's why, I'm just being real with myself. I think everyone needs to have that conversation with themselves. For someone else, it might be different, but for me, I go to work, make some money, put it into the music. That's what I do.
That's good. So are there any hacks for staying in love with the craft whilst staying out of debt?
So that I did.
Are there any hacks for staying in love, still being in love with the music and what you do, whilst avoiding going into financial difficulties?
I think it's more about planning.
Okay.
Planning, like I said, it's about having a real honest conversation with yourself, and also knowing that, oh, I might not get this outcome right now, because we live in a result-based, world right now. So I understand that this is how much I could put into my song at this time. So I try not to pressure myself and say, oh, we could set up its timeline. Like for instance, this year, we said we wanted to put about, I think, 3 or 4 projects out. We're still working on the first one. So I like to be real with myself. I don't put a pressure on myself.
Okay.
Whenever we could get the song to the people, we'll get it to the people, and just have faith that the song will find its audience. To be honest, that's just, I don't think anything is guaranteed. To be honest,
Okay.
yeah.
So do you think that up and coming artists have this mindset that money comes just like that whilst you're doing it, it just flows in? So they're like, oh, so when it's not coming, they're a bit stressed, like, oh, what's going on? Why am I not making as much money as I thought I would be, kind of situation?
um, Honestly, I don't know really, like, I don't think it comes like that. It's different for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, you could make your first single today and boom, you know, it's a different world now. You've got TikTok. Everyone, you could just go viral any moment, and you'll get that result.
Yeah.
And some people, you have to literally take the staircase. Case literally, you have to literally go from one staircase to another one. And some people just go straight through the elevator. I love my process. You know, I love the journey. So that's it for me. So for someone else, it might be different. So I don't think there's a standard for it. It's just different for everyone. Okay.
I've got a bit of how to put it, a bit of a twist. Okay, so the people that go viral on social media and TikTok just like instantaneously, yeah. And then once that hype dies down, and then it's like they start to fade out of society.
Yeah.
What would you think would be going through the mind during that time? Like, how would they be like, oh, okay, I made it, and now I'm now receding back to where I came from. So how do I find a plateau to now build again?
Ah, I've always believed that everything else will go away.
Mm.
Whatever you have will go away. But at the same time, in order for anything to start the test of time,
Yeah.
there has to be a solid foundation. So if there's no solid foundation to anything, it will literally crumble. But I also believe that, you could fall 7 times and you could stand up 8 times. So anyone could literally build whatever they were able to build before. So depends on the mindset.
So strong mindset,
Yeah, strong mindset,
perseverance.
Yeah,
Don't give up.
literally. Don't give up.
Yeah. Okay, that is cool. All right, so as we know with the industry, the way your audience sees the things that they see the final product. They don't see behind the scenes. They don't see what goes on the work that you put in. So would you be able to shed some light on that? What's something that behind the scene that goes on that people don't really know about that you think is vital information for them to know?
Hey, my brother, there's a lot. 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 Especially when, for me, I have to juggle from doing my 9 to 5 and then creating time to make music and then, going through this process to get the music to the people. Firstly, you're talking about loads of money. We're talking about, for me, sending data from the UK to Nigeria to the mix engineer. You're talking about recording countless songs and, some of them might not even make the cut. And you've literally paid so much money to get them mixed and mastered. I think there's a lot of effort that, musicians put into their craft to make sure that the music gets to the people. Like I said, people only see the result, they don't see the process. A lot goes into it. Like I said, we made plans to drop 3 EP this year. We're still working on one.
Interesting.
And this is October, isn't it?
Yes.
And we still don't know when they. So it's a lot that goes into it, my bro.
Mhm.
It's a lot.
You mentioned that you send your work to Nigeria. Is it out of choice or is it out of necessity?
Um, it's more out of like the people I choose to work with. So my producer, Milarangs, he resides in Nigeria. And we've known each other since when I was doing my first degree, like literally since Cotonou. And I feel like we have that synergy, that relationship that I don't have with any producers out there. And so it was very important for me that whoever I work with understands my vision. So we just make that relationship work in terms of, I make music right in the UK, yeah. I send in that team in Nigeria, he works on the beat. We had back and forth conversations in terms of how we want it to sound, what should the output look like. And then we come to a conclusion and actually, okay, yeah, this song is actually great now. So it's very much important to me that we have some level of relationship. So I stick with the people that I've literally started, this thing with basically. Yeah.
And bit of a slight twist. So here us now, you are based in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So is it like, would you ever consider finding a producer here to work with, or would you just stick to the people that you've known from ground zero all the way to where you are now?
Um, Good question. I'm very much open to collaboration. I've worked with, some artists in the UK. But like I said, what is important to me is the synergy. Like I need to have a certain form of like relationship with you to be able to make music with you. But notwithstanding, I could work with anyone. But I don't think I have met any producer in the UK that we've been able to build that relationship with, then we start working together and stuff. And also because my schedules are like literally like rigorous, like, I have to go to work between Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, try to squeeze and, make the music. So it's very much more easier to just like, go on my phone, call me like, you just made something, I've sent it to your email, let's just get it done. You see what I mean? So most of the time I'm not really out there, trying to like work with a producer because I haven't met one that we sort of like, have that together yet, basically, yeah.
Okay. So, still speaking about the whole behind the scenes aspect of it, when it comes to you writing the lyrics, how do you go about actually formulating it?
Um I let it come to me, to be honest.
Really, just like that?
I've got a studio in my house. I know how to record myself.
Mhm.
I know how to, use my software to a certain level before I send it to a mix engineer.
Yeah.
So I could just wake up one morning with that feeling. I just go on there, get a beat and just let the music come to me. You see what I mean? So I literally write whilst I'm recording the song.
Mhm.
And because most of these songs are like a real life event, it's just very much easy to write those songs. I think they write themselves, to be honest. Yeah. So that's my process. Yeah.
That's just,
I don't. I feel like it's kind of like different. Maybe it might be the same for every other person out there, but that's just my own process.
I think I might give it a try and see if that works for me. If it does, I'll let you know.
Never know. You could write a mind blowing stuff.
We shall see. We shall see. Yeah, we shall see. Kaz.
Yeah, man.
So the next question I'm going to ask you is a very interesting, spicy question. All right.
Cool. Let's go.
You ready?
Open mind. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you said that you have a 9 to 5 job.
Yes, I do.
And um okay, so some people, right, might say that you have a 9 to 5 is more of a hindrance to your music career
Mm.
in the aspect that, oh, most musicians don't have a 9 to 5. They focus solely on the music.
Yeah.
And they might think that, you're not really that passionate about it.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, how would you defend that statement?
Um. Uh. Firstly, I'll say there's no manual or standard into how this works. Is what I mean. And earlier on, I said to you, like, it's very important that I tell myself the truth and I'm very real with myself.
Yeah.
Um, I don't look at other people's life and say, oh, this is what this person do, then I want to do that as well. Like, I know I know how my life is,
Mm.
and I know what I want to achieve. I know where I'm going to. And I understand that in order to get to where I want to get to, I need to have real conversations with myself. And part of it is actually having a job. Okay. Because I don't have a record label. I'm not signed to a record label. I do all of these things with myself and the people that believe in me, like my team. So I understand that if I want to get, the music to people, if I want to make quality music, I need to get a job. You see what I mean? And especially when you live in the UK, you understand how this works. Oh, definitely. You gotta have a job because the views are not junking like so the first step was for me to get a job, then I know I could get the music to the people. That's basically me. So any other person out there could do whatever works for them. You see what I mean? And like I said, like there's no one way to do this thing. You know what I mean? You could decide to make music full time. Which works for you, works for you. Whatever works for everyone, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. So a little birdie told me that you have done some shows before in the past.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me, how was the turnout for those events?
Oh my God. Firstly, I want to take this opportunity to give a special shout out to all of the people that, buy tickets to my show. I don't think there's ever been a time that, I put out a flex or, graphics that, I have a show happening that people don't come up. for me. Sometimes people actually buy 3 or 4 tickets, just to, to support, and they're not even coming with 3 or 4 people. It's just them. Like, the love is massive, and I am, like, I'm so thankful to, the I don't call them fans, I call them my friends, and I'm so thankful to them that whenever I put out, I'm doing a show somewhere, they come out the show, love the buying ticket, and they support the brand, they support Kizzy, they support Cars, so I am thankful to them. So if you're watching this, I love you.
Shout out to the fans,
Yeah, shout out it.
family, to the friends and
Yeah.
fans, to how he's there.
Yeah.
All right, cool like that. All right, so I want to ask a question. So when it comes to, like I said, you in your timeline for this year, you had the idea of having what, 3 EPs? Yeah, 3 EPs. And my question is, what are some of the setbacks that happen along the journey for this kind of, because now you said you're still working on just the first one. So for this whole year, what has been your major setback so far?
That's a very lovely question, to be honest. Um, Number one, I want to put out there is that the music itself has never been a problem. Okay, like we record loads of songs. There's so much. We have so much songs right now that we can literally pick up from and actually put out that 3 EP. But if you are a fast rising artist like me that don't have a label, one of the major problems you're going to face is funding. Like I said, I do all of this by myself, alongside my team. And just as, music is my priority, I have other priorities as well. I've got families, I've got siblings, I've got responsibility as a person as well that I need to attend to. So I just try to, find a balance and not put pressure on myself, and make sure that whenever we could actually put out these projects, we put them out. One of the major problems is definitely funding, and also, timelining, getting the songs ready, mixing and mastering. Like I said, I don't have a producer in the UK. I don't have a sound engineer in the UK that I work. I'm sure that many have that, but all of my songs are done in Nigeria, basically. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. So for up and coming artists, right? When they have a situation where they set themselves a target for the year and they don't really meet that target, what would be your advice to them? Because I know some people like, oh no, I'm spinal of control. I have to do this, I have to do that. They're rushing over the place to make sure that this is done to this standard or to the thing that they actually want it to be. But sometimes it's life, you will fall short of it. That's by a bit. Yeah. So what would be your words of encouragement to them during that season?
I'll say do what works for you, man. Like, don't, don't let um don't let you not, putting out the music you want to put out at a particular time getting pressured.
Yeah.
Do the best that you can. As far as you keep showing up, it all counts. It all counts, especially when you don't have a record label back in. It's not easy out there. The economy right now, it's not friendly. So I'll tell them, I'll say, do what works for you. Stay grounded, keep working. Whenever you could put out the music, put out the music. Just make sure that you keep showing up. Whenever you can. That's what I'd say. Because I, as a person, understand that it's not easy, to be honest. And it's not easy in the sense that you could literally keep putting money into this and not get anything in return. It's not guaranteed, to be honest. At the end of the day, it's probably grace.
Okay. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah. Thank you for that. So as we know, with artists or anybody within the industry, we hear sometimes people say that they have a mental block or they have a crash out moment where it's like nothing that they try works. Like literally they can't put out anything, they can't think about anything. So when your brain says, nah, not today, all right, what is your reset ritual? How do you get yourself back in the mindset of, okay, recording again and getting back into it? And how do you refill your creativity battery?
Um, I just take a long break. I take a long break from it all. Because um sometimes it could be draining, and nothing comes. I just take a long break. I like to read. I just read sometimes, or I just connect with nature, and just take a walk at the park. Sometimes I just listen to reels of music, or just do other things that I had not got done before. So I think it's important to know when to take a break. It is very important. It happened recently, whilst we were making my project, and I wanted to make the timeline. I wanted to make sure I do other things I needed to do, and I made a song and I sent it to my producer in Nigeria, and it was like, it thinks I need to take a break. That it's not this is not the standard of what we want to make. And it told me to take about 2 weeks break, and I did. And the next song that I made was fire, man. It's fire, literally. So it's important to know when to take breaks.
Okay. But do you think that, okay, I know that for the younger generation, taking a break is not something that they're really used to per se. So would you advise them like, okay, I have a scheduled break, like doing to do something, something like, okay, you know what, 3 months work, so take about a few days off, this and this, few days off, so that it is not like you're working towards the point of burnout. Then man, now reset again.
Yeah, I mean, because the music that we make is literally from experiences that we've literally things that we've experienced. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And but sometimes it might not be anything you want to say. For me, I have to make sure the music is authentic. If I don't have something to say, there's no point in me, going up on the mic just because I need to meet the timeline. And it is also important that for people to know that whatever God has in store for you won't pass you by. So it doesn't matter if you decide to take 2 weeks break, 3 weeks break. If it's meant to be, it is meant to be. It makes sense that you stay sane as well.
We can. That is,
Yeah.
yeah, that is very interesting. Actually, okay. So as we know, the whole the spotlight does hit hard on
Hmm.
artists. Okay, but sometimes it burns too. Have you ever felt like you had to perform emotionally, even when real life was doing you dirty?
Yeah, of course. Of course. The show must go to That's like the part. The show must go on,
Mm.
people don't really want to know. People don't really want to know.
That is true. It sounds.
It sounds
Wait,
yeah, I mean, well, yeah, but
it is true. It is true.
people, because there's someone will tell you the songs, they're probably having it worse than you. At the end of the day, you want to just be thankful. As far as you're alive, you still have hope. So I mean, you just want to be thankful. So the show must go on. It's a result based on society. It's just but get help if you need to. Speak to friends. I have friends that keep me grounded. That I could just call them and they've got me 100%. Yeah. So it's very important that you have the right people around you as well. People that you could easily speak to. I know that sometimes for some people they find it hard to speak to people, but even if it's just one person or two persons that you could just call, I'm actually not okay right now. And, yeah, just reach and release.
Reach and release.
Yeah.
That's reach and release. Okay. So for yourself specifically, how do you keep it real without burning out during that time when life is doing you extremely dirty? As we know in this economy we're in right now,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a bit touch and go sometimes.
You're feeling it too.
Oh, oh, bro, sometimes like, you know what? Yeah,
Yeah, we are all feeling it.
just have to just be,
We are all feeling it.
yeah.
I think the first step is to be self-aware. To be self-aware that, uh, you know, it is your turn to have it the other way around. Because, life is all about ups and downs. So when you're up, enjoy it. When you're down, be aware that you're down now and reach out to people, because God gave us the amazing people that we have in our life for a reason. So reach out to people, speak to them. That will help.
Okay, so speaking about people in your life, right? I have a question for you. So working with a six-man agency, right? Okay, so spill the teeth. What's that about? How's
Sister agents, that's my family.
that's your flat?
That's my
That's the family.
That's my family.
Okay.
They mean so much to me. Um, Firstly, I want to say shout out to the 69 brand, most especially to the CEO Taiwo. James. She's a very lovely person. She's not just my manager, she's also my friend. Okay. She's my friend. We've walked together, we've prayed together, we've experienced, sad times together. She knows how to keep me on track. She's that kind of friend that will literally tell you how it is. You see what I mean? And she wants the best for me. I know. When it comes to my music, she doesn't play with it. She's up and ready. When I have conversations or in terms of, it's just like when you have someone that could literally see through your lens, like, what you want to do, what you want to achieve. And 69 Entertainment had been down since day one that we met. It's actually a very interesting story how we met, but I'll just keep it that way. Yeah, amazing. If you're working with them, you're in good hands.
Okay. All right. So then, how would you say the collab has changed the mindset or stretched you in terms of your artistry?
Charlie is reflective in the result, isn't it? In terms of my brand visibility online, very reflective. I remember how we started and I know where we are right now in terms of getting the music out there, the numbers are great, the brand is looking great. When we started, had she comes up with certain restrictions, and I didn't understand at that time, but I feel like I do now, in terms of what to put out there, how I want to appear, the kind of music I make. They have a huge impact on that. They don't change too much. They make sure that I do what I want to do, but they've handled me well.
Okay. All right. So I want to know. So from the perspective of up and coming artists, when it comes to finding a manager to work with, would you advise them to find somebody who also has the same vision as they do, and somebody who's also honest to, of like, straight to the point, blunt, like, this is working, this is not working, do this, do that, change this, change that? Would you think that's something that they have to look into if they want to advance within the industry?
For sure, for sure. I said it's important that you have someone that doesn't just say yes to everything
Okay.
or just agrees with everything, literally, because you could literally, because they, if I would assume if someone says they want to be your manager, they know the business very much more than you probably do. True. And they know what's out there as well, because if they've been there, they've done it, you see what I mean? So if you want to work with someone, you want to make sure that it's someone that literally cares about you, loves your craft, actually love your craft, and they are down to to work with your vision. But also it's very important that you have someone that doesn't just say, okay, I want to put out music tomorrow morning. Yeah, let's do it. I want to do that next day. Let's do it. I want to post this on my page. Yeah, let's do it. So you don't need a yes, yes, my yes. Yeah, additionally.
So you need someone who's going to challenge you.
Of course.
Go and third, yo,
Of course.
work hard.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is that,
I,
that.
and 69 is that to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, was in your case.
Oh my God. Trust me, trust me. Trust me. Yeah, yeah. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for that.
It's good, it's good. People like to scream, support artists. Like, people should just support the artist, support the artist. But then, unfortunately, within this in modern era, people kind of don't, per se, with regards to, streaming music on platforms for free without actually buying them. So do you think that, like, there's an issue with having support for artists who are actually up and coming?
Money, when it comes to, people, screaming artist support, um, I feel like it's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Um, uh, I feel like it's important for we artists to look out for ourselves as well. And that includes, looking out, exploring other options that we could actually get as much as we can from our music. And I think that's part of the conversation I've had with my team this year in terms of what are the ways we could actually get the music out to people, you know, without using the usual way, like in Apple Music, Spotify, and other, digital platforms. And I was talking to my manager about, how can we sell it to people directly? Because I, as a person, I don't have a record label. I don't have a funding. Of course, my managers reach out to me, every now and then, send me different kind of like links to get grants, to get funding, and there's so much criteria that are being requested for, and we don't even have access to this funding. I'm sure there are other people that will be getting funding, but we haven't been able to have access to run. And when it comes to the fan, I feel like they show love as much as they can. Is literally is difficult out there. People go on AudioMac, go on Spotify, people who can go there, who could afford it. We've taken the bold step that I don't put notes of my music on our AudioMac because I feel like we're not getting what we're putting into it.
True.
So part of the conversation I've had with my team this year, most especially my managers, that my next project, I want to get it out to the people directly, whereby they could actually pay for it, so we could actually get something from it, so we could give them more. It's not about giving them more, but if it's the numbers are not matching, it's quite so. When it comes to that question, it's tricky. I get a lot of love from people, and I'm sure if they could do something more, they would do it. But at the end of the day, it's business. It is business. Yeah, literally.
And I think I remember reading somewhere that all the major platforms, like, they undersell the artist. So probably like, okay, the music value for artists. So let's say you put your song on there and then they sell it. The revenue that you get back is a fraction of what it's actually worth.
Yeah, I think
Actually, so which is actually very detrimental to the industry because, like, I'm putting in all this work in, I'm putting my music out there, and then the revenue is not matching up to the time and effort that has been put into it.
honestly, I think it is sad. It's actually sad. I think I saw an interview recently. I think it was a podcast I sort of like watched. And if you have your song on, I think it's Spotify, number one, or Apple Music, all you get is literally $300.
That's it.
And I've also seen whereby, A-list artists talking about how much they actually put in to promote a song. And when it comes down to me, I don't have a record label. I know how much I put into actually making one song.
Yeah.
And so when I look at the back end, or when my manager shows me the back end, and the numbers are not encouraging. So it's a very tricky one as regards to demands that a musician can make, because I see people talking about, oh, artists are overcharging, artists are making this demand, that demand. But trust me, there's a lot we're putting into it as well. And I think we deserve everything that we're getting, or we're supposed to get, to be honest. So it's very tricky. I try to avoid conversations like that, but I'll just leave it there right now. I'll just leave it kind of there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So going off that, do you, from your own perspective, do you think that music of late has become, this is the word, generic? Like, everyone is putting out the same style of music, the same vibe, the same concepts. It's like copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste.
This guy, you're trying to get me in trouble.
Listen, I know because I have a friend who is a music producer, and I spoke to him literally quite recent. Was last week. I saw him there last week. He was like, he's literally bored of the industry as it is right now because there's nothing new in the system that excites him. He's like, yeah, it's like it's not the same thing that he's getting every day. So he's like, he wants to work with more diverse people who actually have more spice to them. So like, yeah, this is something new to me. I haven't done this before. I want to do this. But the ones that he's working, like, okay, yeah, it does the same thing.
I get where he's coming from. I can see this on his perspective. Um, I mean, what I would say is, I feel like there's so many music in the world that anyone could listen to. You know, and people make music or draw inspiration from whatever inspires them or what they want to talk about. I, Kazim, Kizzy, I keep it authentic. I talk about the things that I go through.
Okay.
And anyone who could relate to that could literally just, listen to that, buy into that. And I feel like it's probably the same for every other person. Everyone knows what inspires them. But at the end of the day, that, listen to what speaks to you. If you're tired of listening to artist A, look for artist Z.
No,
That
okay. That's
literally, I mean, like I said, sometimes I actually, when I look at my playlist, I feel like, oh, I'm not, I don't like the songs I'm listening to right now. Maybe I enjoy them anymore. I'm not there to look for other artists I can listen to. See what I did. So I feel like there's so many out there you can listen to. I'm sure it's not everyone that likes that song as well. But
I think what you're saying. Okay, so let's put it more specific.
okay,
Okay, so let's be
what's before we travel this?
all right. No, no, no. I'm not really. So let's pick the Afrobeats in
Okay.
industry right now. It's all the same. There's no new vibes because it's all the same kind of thing from this artist to this artist. Same vibe, same style of music. It's all same tempo, same everything's like just it's like okay, well, bring something new, be adventurous.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I feel like there's been change when it comes to Afrobeat. Like I said, at the end of the day, it is music business, and you see people making songs for TikTok because they want to go viral, and that's why it goes back to what are your core values as a person, as a musician, how do you want to be remembered, what kind of music? And there's also people like that putting so much money into this. It's a business for them and they want to make back the money. So I won't literally like go for anyone because I understand that at the end of the day they have mouths to feed and everyone do whatever they can do to make ends meet. But what I could say is, as a person, if I was a listener, like if I'd be listening to that song and I'll just go listen to other music. And I'm sure there'll be people that are still making inspiring. Um, I listen to Burna Boy, because the songs that they get to me. I listen to a lot to Face, So I think everyone also have people that they listen to, depending on what mood you are, just listen to whoever speaks to you,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kizzy, so pick up from what you said. Within the industry, there are such things that as toxic traits. Right. So from your perspective, what would you say is a toxic trait that you've actually noticed?
Um, I think it's people not wanting to pay upcoming artists because you're not out there, and they would rather pay everyone except you. I find that find that not nice, and it's happened a lot to me because I understand the value that I bring in terms of, when I go to a show, when it comes to even reflecting in, sales of ticket, how I promote whatever shows I'm going to that they call me for. And, people go like, we're not gonna be paying you, it feels like, and I try to understand, but it just feels like because when I look at that, how much I put into this, like in terms of, the finance, I don't have any support and all that. And I feel like the least that people could do is actually appreciate you. You don't have to, do but just appreciate that artist, But so that's one thing I find really weird, to be honest.
So do you think that their form of payment is your exposure, them giving you the platform to, put your music out there? Is that what you think they class as their form of payment?
Exposure is good.
Yeah.
Exposure is good, but exposure doesn't put food on table.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Exposure is good. Honestly, everyone, giving one form of exposure to upcoming artists, totally appreciate them. Exposure is great, but for especially an artist that don't have any support, they have to go to the studio. They have to go to make these songs, and you find you've met this artist and you see they have a great song and you decided that, you know what, I want you to come to my show. Yes, of course, I want to give them, but I appreciate them with something. You don't know if they've got family that they depend on them. You see what I mean? So exposure, but it's also important that they're being appreciated as well, financially. Yeah. So I just find that a bit like where that people who don't want to pay or pay an upcoming artists. Yeah.
Because I know from my own experience from the club industry,
Yeah.
when artists do come off good, they get paid. They have to get paid.
Exactly.
Even if it's something small.
Exactly.
Sometimes when I'm reading to the content, I'm like, okay, hey, this person last for A, B, C, D. I'm like,
If
have the phone call.
it wouldn't take anything from me if you've made a whole budget for everyone else to be paid.
Yeah.
Just include my man in the budget. He goes a long way. It really does. I just find that so weird.
It really does, because by doing that, you form that future relationship that, okay, yeah, exactly, for future projects, or I can call on this person again.
I mean, in some cases, even if you don't want to give them money, I've had people that they probably didn't pay me like in terms of money, but they took me to their show. They actually treated me well. And that meant a lot, even more than the money that they were going to give. So, but I just find it awkward that people would, because you are not coming artist, I don't think you entitled to this yet and all that, but you rather pay it on it.
And so down I said,
Yeah, you need to
eradicated.
yeah, because whatever, if you're doing an event, you're making money from it as well.
True.
So, and studio sessions is another.
It's not cheap. It's not cheap. It's not cheap. Exactly. Yeah. So rounding up, let's end on a legacy note. Okay. This one is something interesting, something very spicy. Let's say how this one. So if you could leave a 30-second video note to the next wave of artists,
Yeah.
all right, what would you tell them about protecting their peace, their power, and their purpose in this industry?
Um, I think I saw something online one time and it literally spoke to me. They said it is very important that you know what you want.
Okay.
And then say no to the rest. I say, keep your boundaries. Literally, what you don't want to do, don't do. What you want to do, do. I would say make as many mistakes as you can make and learn from them quickly. Um, that's it. And I would say there's no standard to how this works, to be honest. No one literally has a blueprint. And I would say be close to God as well. Very close to God. Yeah. Because whatever you want, He can give to you. Pray as much as you can, honestly. That's what I have to say.
Kizzy, so is there anything that you would like to say to our viewers today?
Firstly, I want to say big shout out to the organizers of this. Shout out to 69 Entertainment, and I want to say, go follow me on Instagram, Kizzy Stayne. Listen to my songs. Go on, Apple Music, Spotify, still the same name, Kizzy Stayne. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I've got new music coming out soon. Actually, a project for you guys. 3 Needles. Um, when it's gonna be dropped is gonna be announced, but right now just go on my, Apple Music, Spotify, listen to my songs back to back to back. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So you heard it from the man right here. So make sure you go check it out. And all too soon from school. So before we do, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys very soon. Peace out.
Yeah, bless, one love.